tomorrow we gotta leave first thing in the morning when the sun comes up. We've got a busy day. We've got to go booking it on down to Phoenix because we've got a roof rack install on top of the cab. Alright, we got a drop macho off for the day here at Rack Attack. They are going to install a front runner rack on top of our cab that we so desperately need for some exterior storage. I just hate leaving our vehicle with people that we don't know. We have been burned too many times in the past. I can think of at least 3 or 4 times where somebody else has done something to our truck and not told us about it until afterwards. So I'm just kind of hoping and praying for the best. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch. It's going to be here all day. We don't have a vehicle, so we are trying now to navigate our way to a restaurant in Phoenix. And this is a busy intersection and it looks very messy. There's construction everywhere. So we got to figure out how to kill the day. So we found a little park to go hang out for a little while. It's just getting hot. It is mid-March and it's probably a high of 81 or 2 here in Phoenix today. It feels great in the shade, but in the sun it's just getting a little too warm. So we are gonna go venture back.
What? Ma, what guy?
Welcome back. So now it is time to get our countertop ready. And as you guys can see, we have purchased a butcher block top already pre-made from Home Depot. Sorry for the wind. I believe this wood is called acacia wood. I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation, so don't hold me to that. But the reason that we already went with something pre-made is basically just for convenience, to save us time. We don't have time on this project and this build to do a fancy epoxy river table pour. As much as we love that in the van, it was very time consuming. It was a labor of love, and unfortunately we just don't have that luxury of time this go round. Now there are many different options on how to finish or seal a butcher block countertop. Through my research, what I have decided to do is first finish it with tung oil, and then we're going to seal and clear coat it with the water-based polyurethane. We found one thing in the van, that with all the wood that we had, you know, it expands and it shrinks very often, and that can create cracks. And I just want to protect this as best we can, being that we're going to be in a mobile home. It's going to be subjected to a lot of harsh environments. Alright, so real quick, let's just go over some of the materials that's needed for this project. You're going to need a sander. You're going to need to start with around 150 or 120 grit. I've got 120 on here because I don't have any more 150. And then I'm going to move to a 220 and then a 320. Now the 320 might be a little overkill, but I'm going to do it anyways because I want it to be nice and smooth. After you sand it down, we're going to wipe it good with some lint-free cloth, and then I'm going to make sure that every little bit is absorbed with tack cloth as well. The tack cloth is real sticky, and that's going to pick up all the dust, every last little bit that the lint-free cloth won't. After that, we are going to apply our tung oil. I'm going to use a foam tip brush. I've got tons of these laying around, just so happens. And then we got to let it sit for 24 hours. Later on in the process, we're going to need our polyurethane. I'm choosing a water-based polyurethane. You could do oil-based, but water-based, it dries crystal clear, whereas the oil-based is going to dry with a little bit more of a yellow or amber hue to it. And then you're also going to need a fine tip brush meant just for water-based poly. And that's to avoid any air bubbles so that when your coats go on, they're nice and smooth. And I think that's about it. Let's add a little bit of patience in the mix too. This is going to be a multi-day process, so I don't expect to be done with this puppy until the end of the week. let's get started. All right, second round of sanding. Got 220. One more time through. This is our top side. I'm going to go over with 320. About all I can do on the butcher block today. We put down a really thick coat of tung oil. We smoothed it out and then we wipe the excess off after 15 minutes. And now we have to let it sit for 24 hours. This probably isn't the best day to do it. You guys have seen how windy it is. It's a constant struggle. Probably should have planned that a little better, but it is so unpredictable out here. We might have a few elements of Mother Nature dry on the board here, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I embrace it. We live in nature. We get dirt and dust and bugs in the van or box all the time, so might as well be part of our life forever. Right. It's the next day. It got windier even after I finished this thing, so I was a little hesitant coming out this morning, and I was afraid there was going to be all kinds of crap that dried in here and bugs and whatnot. And it's not terrible. There is some debris on here, but I think I can get this off with some tack cloth. But it's calm this morning. I need to get another coat on before the wind picks up later this afternoon. So let's get busy. For today. I'm going to let this sit for about another 10 minutes and then wipe off the excess oil with a lint-free cloth, and then it's got to sit for another day. The next step will be to put poly on, a clear coat, and I can't do that until this is completely dry, so hopefully since we're out here in the desert it'll dry within 24 hours. It's looking great. I'm really happy with it.
Sure, hold that.
I'll grab one side of it.
Alright, so while that butcher board block is going to dry, we've got some other major tasks that we're going to accomplish today.
Alright, here we go again. Cutting in windows. So we're going to cut 2 windows in on this side. This is the first one. We're matching it with the other one on the other side.
So we've got one over the kitchen galley. We've got another one over our bed. The hardest part about all this,
The hardest part
is just getting your measurements right.
on a box truck is cutting a stud out, because I got to cut through it in the jigsaw. The blade's not long enough to get through everything.
Measure 10 times, cut once. You know how that saying goes.
I'm going to have to use a cutoff wheel.
So they're busy getting all of our measurements correct. I'll be on the inside making sure that nothing gets cut that maybe shouldn't.
I blemished the other side. Hopefully we can get 2 clean windows out of this one and not mess up the skin. So here we go.
Fingers crossed.
Right off the rib.
Good.
Just right off the rib. More, move it about 1/4 inch. That's it. 1/2 inch. 1/4. Actually, you went all the way down. Yeah, you got 1/2 inch, right. I was thinking the same thing.
Ooh, I got right on it, didn't I? Okay.
All right, so the aluminum has been cut, but the hard part is getting through this stud here. And the jigsaw blade, like Kurt was saying, isn't quite long enough to cut through both the aluminum and the stud. So he's got to use what's that tool called? So he's got to use a cutoff wheel to get through the stud here, which is always a little nerve-wracking because you don't want to cut something that you shouldn't. So here we go.
That's it. Okay, pull it towards you and then just leave it work that bottom. Maybe if you bend it down, let me get my cutters in there.
Yeah, okay, I'll wait for you.
Can I get in there? You want to bend it sideways then? Let me get in there.
It's gotta be right
There you go,
there.
bend it down. Can you bend it? There it is. There it is, you got it.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Let there be light.
You know, I wonder
good.
if Noah had this problem when he was building the yacht.
I don't think he had windows.
Yeah, I'm just...
Truth.
There it is. Okay, cool.
Does it fit?
Woo! Beautiful.
Woohoo!
Let's see how much room. Let me see if there's anything hanging, Dave. If I can
No,
just
it's perfect.
buzz a little.
It's all the way again.
Oh, I see where it's hanging just a touch. Wow. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, there's not much.
All right, we got one window down successfully. Now we've got the other one that we're about to cut in over here by the beds. We had to take a quick little break because we had a rain and hailstorm pop up out of nowhere in the middle of the day that we decided to cut windows in, of course. But it didn't last long, so we are back at it. We've measured and we are about to get cutting. So let's get to it.
Heck yeah.
It's like a superhero. Shazam! It's like Captain America, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just need to hit that little spot. That's it, right, David?
Looks great.
Looks good to me.
Yep.
And it's over far enough for you, Jimmy?
Looks great.
Yep.
Looks good.
Cool.
I'll try to stay off the floor. It's a good start.
That's good. This is just a touch wide. That's okay. May have a little.
All right, we got a full house in here.
You already got a mount. Good.
It got windy in a hurry, so we shut all the doors, and we still have two big holes over here. But we finished insulating the wall, about to put up the plywood, so we can clamp the window on the plywood over here. The one over by the bed is just gonna have to wait, probably for another day, because we gotta get the wall boards up. It's been kind of a crazy weather day.
Tripod okay out there?
Right, Luke? Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
There's some out of the package.
Okay, now I take it over here.
Right. Yeah. Okay, baby.
Make sure it's longer. Okay, that one's coming from down. Okay, that one's coming from up. Okay, we still good?
Ready for some screws?
I am.
There you go.
What's that
It's
noise?
Luke.
What are you doing, son? Shoot, man. I'm not liking it, but we'll see.
What is the deal?
Is it still too bowed?
Are we off?
How?
What's the
I don't
deal?
know. I don't know, David. It just don't look good. is okay. Let's just try it. That's all we can do. Let's get one screw in at a time and just go from there. That's all we can do. You okay?
Blowing off the water.
Push right here, Dave. Whew, man, cutting into any vehicle like this is always nerve-wracking, but it's done. We got all the windows, all the doors, the holes cut. We got the last window we still got to install, but they're cut, and I only messed up on one, and it's not that bad, so I feel pretty good. This window over the kitchen, we use plywood on the inside instead of using the tongue and groove. And the reason we're doing that is because we got a backsplash that's going to be glued on. So with the backsplash, we just want to liquid nail that to the plywood instead of using the tongue and groove. It was pretty bowed, so we really had to suck it in, use some rib nuts to get this window clamped in there. Kind of sucked the window in a little bit on the aluminum skin, but I think it's going to work. I mean, it's solid. You can tell there's insulation and no insulation. So we're just going to keep rocking tomorrow inside. It's supposed to be pretty nasty weather, pretty windy, and we're just going to keep trucking away.